What's good, y'all? So today we have a pretty amazing episode. So we have a special guest on with us. He's a Bantamweight fighter from Knoxville, Tennessee. He's had a unique journey into MMA, and he's got an upcoming fight against David Evans at APFC, which is Anthony Pettis' MMA promotion in Milwaukee on November 19th. So we're thrilled to have Dre Miley on the show with us for our special 5 questions episode. So again, I appreciate you doing this, taking time. I know you're on your way to the gym, so yeah, definitely appreciate you jumping in. So what's going on with you? How's training been going?
Training's been going pretty good. Been kind of ramping it up a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
Trying to get everything fine-tuned for the fight. I don't think I've ever entered a fight camp for as long as I've been fighting, so it's more so of just doing certain things and adding things to your arsenal, so to speak. So not much has changed. I guess the only thing that's changed is just the pacing.
Yeah.
So
when you talk about the pacing, because I mean, obviously from a person who's not a professional fighter, we only see it from our angle, and we're like, okay, a person hears about a fight, and then, okay, you got, a 12-week camp or 8-week camp or whatever it is, and, y'all do what you have to do, and that's what, gets you to the fight. But like, how is it from a person who actually does this? How does this work for you?
Well, you usually get the fight by about 6 to 8 weeks out, so you have a face and you have a way to like clean up your lifestyle. If you're eating unhealthy, then that's the time to start doing it, or training and stuff like that. For me, it's normal. Like, I got the name, you're already training. So yeah, it's more so like, okay, well, let's get everything ramped back up to competition speed, or clean up my diet, doing things that are focused on fighting rather than just like building muscle and bulking up. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's like, what a lot of people don't realize is that you can't train for fights all the time. It's hard on your body. It's hard on your mental too. So you got to enjoy training. And with me being at the gym as much as I am and being involved in all combat sports, that's exactly what I do every day. So it's one of those things, you just stay ready at all times.
Yeah. So,
but most people they'll diet down. They'll get their diet in order. They'll get sponsorships in order and stuff like that. Just miscellaneous stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, as far as you mentioned that you are at the gym all the time, you kind of living in the gym. Is that kind of on the mentorship and the coaching side of it, where that keeps you at the gym, or is it a combination of both that and just being in there, sharpening your tools and learning new skills?
It's both. Like, being a coach is awesome. You get to help out the up and coming generation and people who are looking up to you. And at the same time, you still make time for yourself to like work out and do your own stuff. So it's almost like you have to stay in the gym to stay ahead of the game and stay ahead of the curve. So this is exactly what I'm doing, or we're all trying to do at KMA.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I mean, I've heard, obviously I knew about Ova and St. Peru, before, and you've got a couple of other people out of your gym that are standouts outside of yourself. So I mean, I know it's definitely a gym on the come up, but like, you've spoken pretty highly of your coach. Talk to me a little bit about like his influence on your career and how that relationship has evolved over time.
Well, he met me when I was 18, and I came in and just wanted to get something, feeling good about myself, building confidence and stuff like that. And back in the day when I started, it was just sparring. You would learn a few techniques and we would just spar the whole day and beat the crap out of each other. I guess he just saw that I was doing decent, I was retaining it, and I was going against people who were competing regularly and holding my own against them. And he was like, well, you ever thought about competing? I was like, no, never thought of it. So he helped me like get there. And then, for a while there, I wasn't able to fight in Tennessee. We really wasn't able to fight anywhere for a while. And all he was telling me is like, hey, just stick with this. We'll get you through there. We'll do all these things. Just trust in me, you know? And I have, you know, for the past 14, 15 years, like, that's the only person, like, I can absolutely say that I know for a shadow of a doubt, outside of my family, that has my best interest at heart. So, you know, he's helped raise me in a way, helped me see things in a way. So he's made me a better person rather than just a better fighter. So yeah, that man is amazing.
Yeah, I think everybody is, just as an adult, you need those types of influences in your life. So I can definitely resonate with that. So taking a pivot, like and this is kind of going back to preparing for fights. I watch a lot of podcasts. I'm a podcaster, so I watch a lot of podcasts. So I was watching Rampage Jackson's podcast just the other day. I don't know if you've ever caught any of his podcasts, but he had a podcast with Mackenzie Dern, and he mentioned that film study negatively impacted the way that he approached his fight. For instance, you know, if he's fighting somebody and he sees a tendency when he goes into the fight, he's looking for that specific tendency. Do you think that film study in general, like, has a positive or negative effect on, you know, the fighter strategy, like going into the fight, and how do you use film study for yourself?
I say that it's a double-edged sword. It's good to use it to get familiar with how the person moves and what they do and what their tendencies are. But at the same time, it's like anything else. If you take too much of it, it's going to be a bad thing. So you don't want to get fixated on how much film. Like me, I'll watch film on my guy just to get a good idea, like how he moves. Yeah. Okay, so he's southpaw or he's orthodox, or he throws a lot of strikes. Okay, cool. Now I can go and do my own thing, because what happens is that the more film you watch, the less you perform like yourself. You are more so of a training partner to them while they're fighting you.
Yeah.
So you're like looking for, like as Rampage was talking about, he's looking for these tendencies, but now you're picking up on cues that may not be there anymore. So therefore, you forget what you're supposed to do, and you get so fixated, like, oh, well, if his left hand drops, I got to throw this instantly. It's like, it's not going to be that way. So film study will cause you to lose yourself and cause you to backslide a lot.
Yeah. You know, and that's kind of, I figured it was going to be kind of a double-edged sword type of thing. Like what I've seen, obviously, again, from a person that's just watching it, if somebody just kind of focuses and fixates on something, it makes it hard for them to enter their flow state, to where they're just reacting and, you know, just taking what's given to them. Is that kind of what you think? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on the right path. See, I knew it.
My son's calling me.
Oh, no, it's all good. Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah, my son's calling me, so.
Oh, it's all good. You have 3 boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
How old are they?
13. My middle child will be 12 in December, and then an 8-year-old.
Oh man, yeah. So yeah, we have 5 kids. So we have 3 teenagers. So yeah, you about to go into a nice little situation.
I'm aware. It's hit the house full force, and I've had to check them a few times. Their attitudes and chest gets puffed out every now and again. They will argue with me and say, I'm not that daddy. You can't do that with me. So, and it's worse now that I weight cut too. So when I weight cut, I'm irritable, and I don't like repeating myself. Make it easy on yourself. We'll have fun after the fight. They know that, and they still try to push, because it's like they forget or something. So yeah.
You know, it's interesting that you bring up weight cutting. That was something that I've actually talked about with my wife, and I was saying that, you know, that was something that I wanted to kind of just understand, like how that feels, like, because I've heard about it, you know, being irritable, and you know, in other places I've seen that, you know, they're doing the weight cut, and then they're doing interviews, and people expect them to be a certain way during that time, and like what is your like, how do you balance that as far as like being a normal person while you're doing weight cut?
it takes a lot of grace and a lot of biting your tongue and knowing your threshold. It's a lot. It really is. I will say, if anybody ever thought about weight cutting, imagine that you're eating just the bare minimum of what you like. So you don't get fast food, you don't get none of that. It's straight up like the same meats, the same greens, the same all this stuff, and that's all you eat all day long. While everybody else is talking about, why are you doing this to yourself? It's like, well, I'm doing something. I don't want to do it, but here we are. And you got to drink an ungodly amount of water, and then you gotta, you gotta put on that face. And deep down inside, that's all really anybody wants. They want carbs. So it's basically you just depriving yourself of the things that, everything in the country has, the sweet and savory flavors, and you can't really have that with a diet. So it's
especially in Tennessee. I bet you that's hard in Tennessee. They got all kinds of good food.
Always, yeah. And here's the crazy thing, like for a while there, we had this older gentleman. He had a smoker out in front.
Oh, no.
He was smoking meats and having I'm talking about good barbecue too. And like some of us were all cutting, or some of us were watching our diets. It's like, man, I really would love to have some of that right now. So yeah, it's hard. It's a mental battle for sure, but sometimes you can block it out if you've done it for a while.
Yeah. So this is another question that I've always wondered about. And it really kind of made me, when I've heard people talk about this, it made me more interested in them. But I'm curious about the moments leading into actually making the walk into the fight itself. Like when you're back there, you're either you're shadow boxing or you're meditating, something of that nature. Like when they come back there and they're like, all right, Miley, you're up. Like what goes through your mind? Like how do you feel at that moment?
You get all the nerves. It's like playing like a big game or doing something where it's like, you get adrenaline rush and you get excited and stuff like that. So, and you encounter fear a lot. A lot of fighters won't say that. Like you actually get scared. It's like, because your brain starts playing out these just ridiculous scenarios. Like, well, what if this happens? What if I die? Well, it's just human nature to do it. It's weird, but like at the same time, you're like, no, we're going to do this. So it's me personally. I have to have conversations with myself. I have to meditate. I have to not necessarily suppress my energy, but I have to be like, hey, this is just a normal day. It's just another Friday. It's just another Saturday. It's just another blah, blah, blah. I hate all of it. And I don't use hate like in a bad way. I actually don't look forward to walking in until the glove touch. Because at that point, it's me shedding that skin of, you're the humanitarian at this point. Once you get to the cage, they Vaseline you up, you walk on stage, or walk on steps, you say your prayer, get in there, do your warm-up routine, and then the other person comes in, boom. During all that, you're trying to shed that skin of society. You're trying to shed that skin of, I am Dre the father, Dre the alternative school teacher, stuff like that. It's now, once that happens, once that cage door closes, it's like, okay, I can finally be the person that I am supposed to be. I'm supposed to be this destroyer, and that's exactly what I gotta do. So it's a weird transformation. A lot of fighters won't talk about it.
Yeah, and I think that's, I mentioned Cowboy Cerrone. Like that's one of the reasons that I liked him, is because he was open about that fear, like how he felt going into it. And a lot of people, were saying that was weird or that was odd, but I was like, I think that a lot of fighters just aren't saying how they feel, before they go into it.
Yeah, because you're afraid as a fighter. You're meant to be like this super tough and super guff guy, or girl. Like, nothing gets to me. I'm impenetrable. It's like, no, that shit's scary. It really is. It's scary, but that's what makes some of the fighters great, is that they know that they're scared to go in there. But then, you will weather that storm and start being brave rather than just be like, nah, I'm fine. And then you go out there and, it sucks for you. So, yeah.
So, pivoting to kind of just your career as a whole, I know that that you were signed to Bellator, and like, what's the status on that? Are you just kind of waiting for them to give you a call for a fight? I know you've been talking about different fighters here and there within Bellator. What's the status on that situation?
Right now, I'm just waiting on them. They had that thing with PFL, and
yeah,
it's just a waiting game, and they're trying to find a commission that says yes to me. And quite frankly, the numbers of them saying no are dwindling down. So
yeah.
I do know that they're in Chicago the day before my fight, so you never know what could happen. They could call and be like, "Hey, we need such and such," and I could make that weight because I already be cutting, and they're like, "Well, let's pivot, go to Chicago," and stuff like that. Since they owe me 2 fights anyway, so
yeah,
Lord willing, that's what could be right there. So
that's what's up. That's good. Definitely rooting for you to get on and. Say, I know that guy when you make that walk for sure. But when you get to the end of your career, which you have many years to go, but when you get to the end of your career, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave in MMA?
I want to leave the fact that someone told you no and you still went for it. That no is not an answer. That no is not a definite, and the word fair does not exist. That's what I want my legacy to be. If you want something, you gotta go get it.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's a T-shirt.
Right?
That's a T-shirt. Yeah, you can go ahead and get them printed up, send out the T-shirts.
I might have to do that.
Yeah. All right. So this next segment, we're gonna play a game. It's called This or That. And so I'm gonna give you 2 options, and you just tell me which one you pick. So I'm just gonna go through a few. I'm almost certain. I think I know what your answers are gonna be. I think, based on our conversations on Twitter, I think I know what you're gonna say. We're gonna see. All right.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So the first one: Fruit Loops or Lucky Charms?
Fruit Loops or Lucky Charms? Damn. I'm gonna say Fruit Loops. I'm gonna say Fruit Loops. So.
Okay, so I'm 1 for 1. I thought so. All right, so the next one. All right, this is a harder one. So Anderson Silva or George St. Pierre?
Oh, that's tough. I gotta go with GSP. I do, because he was so much cleaner with everything.
Yes, he was. But Anderson Silva was so dynamic, man. So dynamic.
Yeah.
All right, here's a good one. Drake or Kanye?
Kanye.
Yay, okay. Why Kanye instead of Drake? I'm just curious.
I grew up listening to Kanye, just listening to all his music growing up from what is it? Was a college dropout or graduation, and listened to it all the way up there. Drake is like kind of repeating himself a little bit too much for me, and I don't really care too much for that.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. All right. This is a good one. Knockout or submission?
I will say, because I've had both.
Yeah.
I would like a knockout. I love knockouts. I've had one and I was like, oh, this is the coldest thing ever. So
it felt like nothing, right? When you knocked him out, it felt like you just threw just a regular punch.
Oh yeah. Oh, I knocked him out with a knee. So.
Oh, it was a knee? Oh.
Yeah. I have to share it again. But yeah, like as soon as it touched, and I seen him, his eyes roll back. He's out. He's gone. So it was one of those. I was like, yeah, he's done. Even in the submissions, I've always told the ref and stuff, he's out. They're like, no, he's not. I was like, yeah, he's out.
Yeah. Do you just feel them just kind of go limp and you're just like, okay, this is done? Or is it more on I know that this choke or this, whatever it is there's nothing that they can do to get out of this?
It's one of those that I know the point of no return for that person.
Yeah.
Because I've hit certain submissions in training before, and I'm like, and I roll with some, as you've seen from people that come from my gym, we roll with some tough people, and they don't let you get submissions easy. So if you get one, it's there, it's tight, it's money. So yeah, it's one of those type things.
Yeah, you know what I would really want to see? What would be super cool is if one day you hit a Von Flue choke. Like, that would be amazing if you hit a Von Flue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've tried to hit him. A lot of people don't grab my head. I mean, they do. Like, my last guy grabbed my head, but he was cranking on it. But
Yeah.
I don't think nobody lets it happen because Vince just ruined it for all of us. So
he had it down to a science, man. That dude was good.
you should listen to him talk about it. He's very, that's his baby, man. He'll critique the hell out of it to the point where I have to get him out of my way.
One day I'm going to have to try to get him on the pod for sure.
You should. I think if he's there tonight, I'll say something to him.
For sure. Yeah, I appreciate that.
If he doesn't make me spar with him tonight, which he probably will.
All right, so here's another one. Baki or Goku?
Oh. Are we talking about martial artists or are we talking about anime?
Anime.
Like, the bet out of Baki has the most realistic anime. Obviously, besides the ginormous muscles the guy's got and whatnot.
Yeah. Biscuit was insane, but that's too much.
Yeah, but they're all based on true people. They're all based on real people, and the philosophies behind all the martial arts are true. And Goku, the anime it's good. I love it. I've watched it as I was a kid, but if I had to pick one or the other, I'm definitely going Baki.
That's a good one. Okay, PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Okay, I like where this is going. Or Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
See, I told my wife, I was like, if he says the wrong stuff, I'm closing my laptop. It's done. But now you're saying all the right stuff. All right, so here's another one. This is a good one. Anthony Pettis or Benson Henderson?
I'm going to go, and it's not because I'm fighting on this promotion. It's just I've been watching both of them for a long time. I'm going to say Anthony Pettis.
Okay. Why Pettis? Is it because he's got the victories over him, or you just like his particular style?
I think Ben tries to do the stuff he did whenever he was in the UFC. And he, instead of adapting, he tries to make it work. And he forces it to work. So he's used to being, flexible and doing all these crazy things, but people are catching up to him and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to go with. And Anthony Pettis he's still pretty active. I mean, he still trains. He still does all these things. So he was handling Tony Ferguson. He was whooping up on him pretty good until he broke his hand.
Yeah, that was an amazing fight too. That was a crazy fight. All right, here's a good one. Nashville hot chicken or Memphis barbecue?
I had to go with Memphis. Because I tried Nashville's hot chicken. I really didn't like it. But Memphis barbecue, yeah, I'll easily sit down and put several plates down of that.
Yeah, I haven't been to Nashville or Knoxville. I've been to Memphis a few times. And so I do know their food for sure.
Yeah, Nashville's dope. Nashville's dope. It has a lot of country bars, a lot of good places to eat if you can stomach the people. Knoxville is kind of slept on, but we got a little bit of everything around.
I mean, it's a college town, so I would think that it would have a variety of things.
They do. We definitely do. So
yeah. All right, so here's a good one. Titans or Grizzlies?
I really don't watch too much basketball. The only reason why I know about the Grizzlies is because Ja Morant and Derrick Rose. So I'm going to go with the Titans.
Okay. All right, this one pertains to UFC 295. So Yuri Prochazka or Alex Pereira?
I think... That's tough. Because Pereira's stand-up game is good, like really good. He's working on his grappling, which is scary.
Yeah, he's a brown belt, so they say.
Yeah, but it's like a legit brown belt. If you can tap out Glover Teixeira, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And then Yuri, I don't know because he's been training, but he's coming off that shoulder surgery, but he also fights reckless too.
Very reckless.
So I don't know. I would like to say Poatan wins, But right now, I'll say poetry. I'm pretty sure it'll change by the time I look at like in bed and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that's a funny thing. My wife CJ, she says the same. Like she'll say something, and then when we watch, Embedded, and then she's like, okay, I like how that person, their mental, like how they feel, watching the show or whatnot. So, yeah, no, she's on the same wavelength as you. I was going with Alex, but I'm not really that sure. I really don't know. That one's so close. All right, so here's the last one, and this is a Thanksgiving related one. So talking about cranberry sauce, you like the canned cranberry sauce or fresh cranberry sauce?
Here's a curveball for you. I don't like cranberry sauce. I do not like cranberry sauce. My mama ruined me on that stuff growing up as a child. That's like every Thanksgiving dinner is what we had all the time. And my mom, she'll eat it out the can.
Yeah,
like that's how much she loved it. And I think she like craved it a lot when she was pregnant with me. And then she tried to get me to eat it, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, no, I love cranberries, just in generals. I've never seen anybody use fresh cranberry sauce. Maybe on television, but it's like literally like in the shape of the can. At that.
Yep.
Cool. So, I know you are getting ready to go in and everything, but I definitely appreciate you jumping on. I appreciate you being so responsive. But before we jump off, is there anything you want to say to, the Making the Walk public, your fans, your friends, things like that?
Just thank you guys for having me on, and I guess it'll sum it all the thank yous up by, thanking God, because, without him, none of this would ever happen. I would never met the people that I've been around for, almost half a decade and a half now. So, yeah, that's God's doing. God led me to meet you, and we got on this podcast. God let me meet, everybody at Knoxville Martial Arts Academy. He's led me to be healthy, to compete and do all these things. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. His sponsors and friends, thank you.
Cool, man. Again, we appreciate you. And for the Making the Walk folks, if you like this, definitely like, subscribe, comment. Any questions you have for me, any questions you have for Dre, let us know in the comments. Until next time.